Hello and welcome to this demo video. Before we get started, I'd just like to explain to you a few things which will relate to all of the basic range spreadsheets. Number one, there is a key on the intro and setup tab of all of the spreadsheets showing what the different color headers mean. The blue headers mean that the cell's formulated, so it's locked and you can't change it. The yellow headers are where you can input data, and occasionally there might be some gray headers, which is just a different kind of data input, but we'll include instructions as and when that happens. The other thing that you can be aware of is there are ways in which you can damage the spreadsheet. So please do take a look at the link where you see this image, which will take you to a web page to show you how to better preserve your spreadsheet. Please feel free to keep a blank version of the spreadsheet somewhere, so that if you do mess up a spreadsheet that you're using, you can in fact just open a new one, a blank one. And some of the spreadsheets only last for a year, and then you've got a blank one to start the following year. So do keep a blank copy as a backup somewhere. And lastly, wherever you see this image, you can click on it. It'll take you back to the store where you purchased this product to see if you've got anything, any more products. One last thing, to see a demo video, you can click on this on a link that looks like this in order to go to the demo video, but that'll take you to the most recent demo. If in fact we've done upgrades and you're using an older version and you'd like to see the demo relating to your version, then do click on the watch on YouTube link, which will take you to that specific video on YouTube. So I think that's all you need to know. So without further ado, let's move on to this demo video. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to this demo video for the lead reminder and reports. Now what this does, it's a very simple spreadsheet, does what it says on the tin. It really is for leads that you have for your business. Now I know a lot of smaller businesses and freelance people or even bigger businesses, I suppose, will often hear about potential clients. So they'll have someone say to them, yeah, we'd love to chat, but maybe in a month, or someone who says, yes, I need something, but I'm not quite ready yet, or a referral of sorts or something. And if you're anything like me, you collect a load of those potential opportunities, and then because they're not on your CRM system, they're not on your list to follow up with, you end up forgetting about them, or either hassling them too often or not hassling them enough, and you can never quite remember which leads you had coming in and which ones and where they came from, and have you, when last have you followed up, and all that kind of thing. And this can all be solved with this very simple spreadsheet. So let me show you how to use it. I've made it so that it's got this very similar layout to some of the other spreadsheets that are in both the basic range and the prime range. So that you can actually, if you want to capture the data here as a kind of precursor to your CRM, it's in a lot of the information is the same. So let me just go through how it works. This is the intro and setup tab. These are bank holiday changes. You can leave those blank 9 times out of 10 on the odd time that you have a situation where you're kind of going, well, the bank holidays change, so officially it's changed from one day to another day. You can put in the date that the bank holiday was. It'll come up with a tick if it recognizes it, and then put in the new bank holiday date. But this is only very, very few and far between. You can have a look down here to see how to use that. And this spreadsheet, bank holidays aren't particularly important. I think it's really just a case of following up as to when the next follow-up date is. It takes bank holidays into consideration, but they're not that important. But if the bank holiday changes, you can do that there. Sources, this is up to 15 potential sources where you get work from. Now, some of the other spreadsheets I do that have sources, they may only have 10 or 12 places available. So if you're using one of those, don't use all 15 here. But if this is the only spreadsheet you're using, go nuts. Put in as many sources you want, referrals, Facebook, LinkedIn, that kind of thing, or marketing, all your different marketing ventures where business would come from. This will help you to just remind you where you got that business from in case you need that for your CRM system or something later on. If that's not important to you, well, you don't have to bother with it. If it is, put in some options there. That's it, really. That's all you need to do to set it up. Once you've set it up, this is the spreadsheet the tab on the spreadsheet that fuels pretty much everything. So this is what you update on a daily basis, or however often you follow up your clients. I've got it working per week. I'll show you how it works. Let me just remove these two as one and last for now. So they're all kind of current leads. Put in the name of the person or the business, a short description of the job that they want you to do, or the product that they're after. their telephone number, the contact number, contact email address, and then select a number 1 to 5. Now this is up to you. What this is 5 is a hot lead that is almost definite, that you kind of go, well, this is pretty much guaranteed. Whereas 1 is, well, this is a shot in the dark, but there's a possibility there, and the numbers all in between. This is just so that you can kind of see, because often you may say, well, I've got £3 million worth of leads. That's great. That's going to be brilliant. But actually, only 100 grand of it might actually be legitimate leads, or whatever figures you're dealing with. So you want to just put these in, because then it gives you a breakdown of each of those different categories and what the value is of your leads per score. So it's handy just to rank everything by the score. Then put in a value. Now, obviously, this is an estimated value because you sometimes don't have a clue what kind of service they want, but you're putting in an estimate for now, just so you can get a rough idea. 1 lost, you leave that blank until you actually win or lose the lead. Now, this here is what was the initial date of the discovery or this lead coming to light, and when was the last time you followed up, and how often do you want to follow up? So you've got months and days. If you want to follow up every year, you can put in 12 months. If you want to follow up every month, you put in 1 month. If you want to follow up every week, put in 7 days. Every 2 weeks, 14 days. You get the gist. Put in how many months or days that you want to do, how often you want to follow up with this particular lead, and then the initial date, and then the follow-up date. So as you can see, if you scroll across, it actually gives you the next date to follow up, and it breaks it down into this week, next week, overdue. Anything that's not colored in, and obviously beyond that. So if I were to follow up with this person today, for example, 31st of Jan, you see it goes white because the next time is month off. So that's fine. So then all you do is put in the initial date, which always will stay the same, so you can see how old the lead is when it first came in. But then every time you follow up, just replace the follow-up date. It's as simple as that. And if you just replace the follow-up date each time, that date will then update as to when you next need to follow up. Now, if you would like to sort this, as you see, you've got all your different sort columns. You can sort by any of the different columns. If you want to sort in alphabetical order, or in initial date order, or last follow-up date order, whatever, you can do so. If you want to sort them out into the order of these dates, then what you do is you come here to this rank column. I've purposely put the rank column in. You can highlight what you got there, copy, come to the sorter, paste values, and then sort by that column there, smallest to largest. Oh, sorry, other way around. Smallest to largest. Now you can see the more urgent ones to follow up with are at the top, and scroll down. Now, obviously, as you update, these will change, and these numbers here will change, but this is just a once-off sort. So once you've sorted that, what I'd suggest doing is just clearing those contents, and the next time you want to sort it, do that process again. You can sort based in the order of the follow-ups, because obviously it's not going to sort like that, and you can't put a sort button up here because these are all formulated. So that is essentially how that works. Here, remember, we put in the different sources, so you can come and select up to 4 sources per inquiry as to where they came from, because sometimes it doesn't fit into a nice box and come from Google. It might come from a combination of Google or LinkedIn and referral or something like that. If you've got a job worth £1,000 and you put LinkedIn and referral, it'll put 500 to LinkedIn, 500 to referral. If you select 3, it will put £333 to each of the 3. If you select 4, £250 value to each of those 4 sources. Now, if you really want to be pedantic and you really want to go, well, actually, it was probably 75% LinkedIn, 25% referral, then just simply do LinkedIn referral, select LinkedIn again, and select LinkedIn again. Because then what it'll do is it'll go there 4 referrals, it'll divide the price by 4, and it'll add 3 of those for LinkedIn and 1 for referral. So if you add a 1 twice, it'll just add more weight to it. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, this isn't an exact science because you're working with these estimated values anyway. But you'll see on the report in due course that it will break down where your leads are coming from, so that it's possibly quite useful to see which marketing ventures are working as far as bringing in leads is concerned. Lastly, when something's won or lost, just simply come on here, click 1 or click lost. You can sort these in alphabetical order, so you can bring all the ones together. And once you've got that, for example, here you've got a database of wins and losses. So all you do then is once something's been won or lost, as you can see here, the follow-up kind of disappears. It's no longer really required for the spreadsheet for this particular page. So what you do then is come here, highlight all the ones, right click copy, go to the one leads, right click paste values, right, paste values, not normal paste. Normal paste will, as you can see, it puts that line in there, it's copying and pasting all the formulas. You don't want to do that, you just want to do paste values. Once you paste the values, you can then go back here, you can highlight, don't move anything, you can highlight the lost ones, right click copy, go to lost leads, paste values. Then you can go to your current leads and you can actually highlight those two that we've just copied across, right click, clear contents, and then you can resort. So if you resort into alphabetical order, you can resort into alphabetical order, that's fine. Or else you can put these ranks back across there as you did earlier and sort by rank. Now you've got your won leads and your lost leads. And these now, they're not being monitored, they're not checking up follow-up dates or anything like that. It's merely storing the data of the jobs you've got, because on your report, as you can see, these are all the leads on your current leads, what percentage of each of these scores. So you've given everything a score 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you can see £1,100 worth of potentially good leads, £400 worth of next level leads, so on and so forth. How many of each? There's one lead, there's two of those, one of those, two of those, that kind of thing. You can see how many leads, not necessarily by value, but by quantity of leads. Here you can scroll down, you can see all your different referral options and what value of leads. So good leads have come from referrals and LinkedIn. There's one dodgy lead from LinkedIn, that kind of thing. You can see a breakdown of the current stuff. Here, actually just the values, the numbers that appear on these graphs. You can see them here, so you can clarify exactly what's going on if the graph numbers disappear because they're too small. And then lastly, here you can see your won and your lost as a value, how much has been won and how much has been lost. And this is literally what's on these 2 pages. So it doesn't include won and lost stuff in here that hasn't been copied across. That's why it's important. As soon as you win or lose it, get it off this list, get it onto one of these 2 lists. And then as you can see, it tells you the number and it tells you the value. So you can just come down here and see of your leads, what kind of success rate you're having. So this report here is all automated based on what's on here and what's been moved across. When you want to move it across, remember, just highlight select the information, copy, come to the respective tab, paste values under the same headers, come back again, and highlight that information and clear contents. If at any point you try and do anything in that and it says the cells are locked, then what it means is you've either copied too much information, so you've copied cells here that you shouldn't. You should only copy what's under the yellow. Or you've tried to paste the values into the wrong place. Like if you copy from the end and can't paste here, it's going to try and copy the data into the next column over here and it's going to say it's locked. So if you get any of those error messages saying the spreadsheet's locked, what that means is you're trying to copy paste the wrong thing. So just make sure you've got the right information that you pass. And that's it. This list, as I said, drives everything. Move them across once they've won or lost. Keep everything here, and all you do then is run through, and every time you follow up with them, just replace the follow-up date with the latest follow-up date, and the next follow-up date will then automatically update accordingly. If you obviously go along and you hear a more accurate value, just replace the value for the more accurate value, or if you want to change the scores, you can change them as you go along. And that's it. It should really help you out, and I hope that it does. And if this is something you've been struggling to keep on top of, I know I have, and this has helped me tremendously. That's why I've turned it into a product. I'm hoping to help some other people as well. So I really do hope that it helps you with your business and keeping track of your leads. Thank you very much, and goodbye.